President Bola Tinubu commands his ministers, we can spend the money, but we cannot spend the people. Can you imagine? So we can spend the money, we cannot spend the people. How? What is he trying to say here? Okay, you can spend the money on anything at all. You cannot spend the people. You spent the people already, because before you came into power, a lot of people were beaten, some were even killed in political struggle and political violence that was generated by APC, especially in Lagos and Rivers. So you cannot tell us APC's second name now is political violence, because it's a party that survives by thuggery, bribery, and all forms of political, election violations, electoral violations. So who is it trying to be a motivational speaker now to inspire people on what basis and on what ground? I don't understand. But let's hear what he's saying, because this is one of them that says one thing but does another. Although his cabinet has the authority to allocate funds, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reminded them that the true goal of his administration's renewed hope agenda should be to benefit the citizens. He stated that the principal aim of his administration is lift 50 million citizens out of poverty. He urged his cabinet colleagues to put aside their personal ambitions and focus on accomplishing this goal. Can you imagine? Is it not his own ambition that is driving him desperately to be president? What is a milocon? What does it mean? Is a milocon not ambitious? Wow. As reported by the Punch, President Tinubu conveyed his message at the conclusion of a 3-day cabinet retreat, which included ministers, presidential aides, permanent secretaries, and high-ranking government officials. The president told his cabinet that their responsibility is to bring positive change to Nigeria and not to make mistakes. He said the renewed hope agenda is more than economic growth. Like I said at the opening, we can spend the money, but we can't spend the people. We have a responsibility to our country to make sure we change completely the narrative about Nigeria. Okay, get ready to change it. You can change it. Okay, start changing from your personality and your identity first. The president highlighted the significance of productive discussions, encouraging his cabinet members to openly address any issues and work together to find solutions. He stressed that without accessible healthcare and a decrease in poverty, meaningful progress would be unattainable. He added, like I said before, poverty is not a shameful thing, but it is not acceptable. Can you imagine? Poverty is a shameful thing. How can you say poverty is not a shameful thing? Okay, it is not shameful to be poor, Abi. Who then is happy to be poor? And why will you be happy with something you cannot accept? That is the question. So let's leave all this, playing with words to appeal to people. Doesn't work. So now Tinubu is talking to his aides and talking to everybody, all these ministers, that they can spend the money, but they can't spend the people. So they must lift people out of poverty, and they provide healthcare and make Nigerians, or have Nigerians accessible to some of these infrastructures. It's good to talk. Buhari said all this, meanwhile nothing happened. Okay, this APC government is something else, right from Buhari till now. So we're not expecting anything good or anything better from this administration. After all, the administration has thrown over 150 million now into poverty by this issue of removing of first subsidy and the floating of Naira exchange rate. Only these two actions have thrown more than 100 million Nigerians into poverty. And he's talking here. Okay, so some people are making their comments here. Somebody said Buhari also said the same thing, but poverty persisted till today. Not a small thing. Somebody saying we love Tinubu and he will deliver despite the hatred from a popular section of the country. Now he wants to turn it to Igbo something now. Okay, Give me fish today, I will beg tomorrow, but teach me to fish and I will not go hungry again. Talk is cheap. How can you lift people out of poverty without providing infrastructure, light, water, electricity, and good roads? Stop this giving money program and focus on infrastructure development. Exactly. But will he do that? Somebody say you buy 5 billion naira presidential yacht. Where are you going with that? And you come back to mock our citizens or to mock your citizens. Please let the poor breathe, I beg. Exactly. You bought, even the National Assembly bought vehicles worth 116 billion for each other, and then as if Nigerians are shouting as if that's not enough, and you paid 5 billion naira for presidential yacht to use it where? To come and use it in Bayelsa State, Aviv. Tinubu can only deceive those who wanted to be deceived. He appointed criminal politicians into positions or cabinet and expected them not to continue business as usual. How possible? It's not possible now. So Tinubu can only be, somebody saying here that Tinubu can only be hated by those who are short-sighted and full of envy. But Nigeria is moving. Moving to where? It's moving to abysm. You can't tell us that Nigeria is moving. Nigeria is moving, yes, but it's moving in negative direction. It's going down the slope. It's not going up. Someone said, I will never find pleasure in anything done by this man as long as he sits on stolen mandate. Well, so be it for you. Amen. His tenure shall be miserable to you since you ask for it. So any small thing here, they turn it to tribal war. I pity Nigeria. There's no change. Everything getting worse. Naira is bouncing back by hatred for Tinubu. Hatred for Tinubu will not allow some Nigerians. Okay, but hatred for Tinubu will not allow some Nigerians to see it. But the good thing is that Nigerians love their president. Who are the Nigerians that love their president? Where is Naira bouncing to? Where did he meet it? You need to look at where he met it first. Until Naira gets to where he met it and start, bouncing back from there, that's when we say he has done something. But undoing the problem he created is not a performance indicator at all. So we should not look at that. But Mr. President, your step is not going to that direction you are talking. With your policy so far, 100 million people are joining the poverty level. Okay? Poverty level in your first year in office. I'm immune to that because no matter how the jungle is dry, lion never eat grass. Those joining poverty now will soon come out of it. God gave us the right president. Which right president? This man is just here to make comment on behalf of Tinubu. Yes, you should go ahead and be spending the money, but please don't spend us as you said, because it is your turn to spend the money and not to spend the citizens' Supreme Court government. Wow. Monster gangster movies on Tinubu Gate, for certificate saga from CSU, hitting and killing Nigerians. Your time is up one day. This guy still talking. Martin on ground. Emilokon. Exactly. Mr. President, you can't tell me you want to buy yacht of $5 billion or 5 billion naira for yourself. For what purpose? Buy cars of 1.5 billion for your wife, office of the first lady. Then buy cars of 60 million for the National Assembly members. And you are telling us you meant well for Nigerians whose civil servants minimum wage is still struggling at 30,000 naira. The cost of living is on the high side. Yes, of course, you can spend the money, but cannot spend the people. May God help us. Exactly. And that is what we're talking about. Look at the way that we're squandering money at the National Assembly and at the presidency, and you are telling us that you mean well for Nigerians. You don't. That is what is coming. Thank you for listening. Let's have your comments as usual.